I want you to understand something very clearly. Disease does not happen by accident. It happens when the body is overloaded with mucus and acidity from the wrong foods. Many things you are told are healthy are not designed for the human body. When the blood becomes thick and stagnant, the arteries suffer. Truth is the beginning of healing.
You may be doing everything right, eating vegetables, avoiding junk food, trying to stay healthy, and still putting your heart in danger without knowing it. What if I told you that one so-called healthy vegetable, praised by doctors and nutrition labels, may actually be clogging your arteries slowly and silently? Heart attacks don't happen overnight. Arteries don't block suddenly. The damage builds quietly, meal after meal. Dr. Sebi warned that not all vegetables heal the body. Some create mucus, inflammation, and internal blockage that modern medicine rarely talks about. In this video, we are going to expose the vegetable many people eat daily, believing it protects the heart, while it may be doing the exact opposite. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change the way you see healthy food forever. Let's go straight to the main topic without delay. The vegetable Dr. Sebi repeatedly warned against, and the one modern nutrition praises the most, is spinach. Spinach is marketed as a heart-healthy superfood, loaded with iron, calcium, and antioxidants. But from a Dr. Sebi perspective, spinach is a hybrid, mucus-forming, acidic vegetable that can quietly contribute to arterial blockage over time, especially in people over 40. The problem is not spinach alone, but what it does inside the body. Spinach is extremely high in oxalates, which bind with calcium in the bloodstream and form calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals do not dissolve easily. Instead, they can embed themselves into soft tissues, joints, kidneys, and most dangerously, along the inner walls of arteries. Over time, this creates a rough surface inside blood vessels where mucus, fats, and waste materials begin to stick, slowly narrowing the artery without obvious symptoms. Dr. Sebi taught that disease begins with mucus, and spinach is one of the vegetables that produces excessive mucus residue after digestion, especially when eaten cooked, blended, or daily as part of, healthy routines like smoothies and salads. Modern nutrition focuses on vitamins, but Dr. Sebi focused on electrical compatibility with the human body, and spinach fails that test. Another major issue is that spinach places a heavy burden on digestion. When digestion is stressed, the body produces more acid to break food down, and excess acid in the bloodstream damages arterial walls. Once the artery lining is irritated, the body responds by sending calcium and cholesterol to, patch the damage, which is why plaque forms in the first place. This is actually why many people who eat spinach regularly still develop high cholesterol and arterial stiffness. The cholesterol is not the enemy. It is the body's emergency repair material. Spinach also interferes with proper mineral absorption. While it contains calcium on paper, the oxalates prevent that calcium from being used properly, forcing the body to pull calcium from bones and circulate excess unused calcium in the blood, which increases the risk of calcification in arteries. This is especially dangerous for seniors, whose arteries are already less flexible. Dr. Sebi emphasized that stiff arteries are a sign of internal acidity, not aging. Now, let's talk about remedies and herbs that, counteract this damage. Dr. Sebi consistently recommended alkaline non-hybrid greens such as dandelion greens, watercress, lamb's lettuce, and arugula, which support blood cleansing rather than thickening it. These greens help dissolve mucus, improve oxygen flow, and restore electrical balance in the bloodstream. Another powerful remedy is burdock root, known for its blood cleansing and mineral balancing properties. Burdock supports the liver, and when the liver functions properly, it filters waste from the blood before it reaches the arteries. Yellow dock is another Dr. Sebi approved herb that assists in removing excess iron and calcium buildup from circulation, reducing arterial stress. Hydration also plays a critical role. Dr. Sebi emphasized structured, mineral-rich hydration using spring water and herbal infusions rather than plain water alone, because dehydrated blood becomes thicker and more likely to stick to arterial walls. Lime, not lemon, was preferred because lime is alkaline forming and helps break down mucus more effectively. Circulation-supporting herbs such as ginger root and cayenne pepper, when used properly, help stimulate blood flow and prevent stagnation, which is a major contributor to clot formation. The key takeaway here is that spinach is not immediately toxic, but when consumed regularly under the belief that it is protecting the heart, it can quietly contribute to the very condition people are trying to avoid. This is why Dr. Sebi warned that many diseases are created by misinformation, not ignorance. People trust labels, trends, and outdated food pyramids without understanding how foods behave inside the body. If you have been eating spinach daily in smoothies, salads, or cooked meals and still experiencing poor circulation, rising cholesterol, or arterial issues, this explanation finally connects the dots. Removing spinach and replacing it with alkaline, mucus-free alternatives is not a loss. It is a correction. The body has an incredible ability to repair itself when irritation stops and proper nourishment begins, and understanding this difference is the first real step toward protecting your arteries naturally. To truly understand why removing certain foods can protect your heart, you need to understand how arteries function and why they fail over time. Because arteries are not rigid pipes, but living, flexible pathways designed to carry oxygen-rich blood smoothly to every organ. When arteries are healthy, their inner lining is smooth, elastic, and electrically balanced, allowing blood to flow freely without resistance. Problems begin when irritation occurs inside these vessels, not from cholesterol itself, but from chronic acidity, mucus accumulation, and mineral imbalance. Dr. Sebi explained that the human body is electrical by nature, and when foods disrupt that electrical balance, the blood thickens and loses its ability to move efficiently. When digestion creates excess acid, the bloodstream becomes inflamed and the delicate arterial lining develops microscopic damage. The body, always trying to survive, responds by sending calcium and cholesterol to patch these weak spots, much like plaster over cracks in a wall. Over the years, this repeated patching leads to hardened plaque, narrowing the artery and reducing circulation to vital organs such as the heart, brain, and legs. This process doesn't cause pain at first, which is why arterial disease is often called a silent condition. Most people feel fine until circulation becomes so restricted that symptoms like chest tightness, numbness, cold extremities, dizziness, or fatigue finally appear. Another factor that's rarely discussed is blood thickness. Thick blood moves slowly, creating friction against artery walls and increasing the likelihood of buildup. Dehydration, excessive mucus-forming foods, and poor mineral balance all contribute to this problem. Dr. Sebi emphasized that many people drink water but remain internally dehydrated because their cells can't absorb it properly due to mucus blocking absorption. When blood lacks proper hydration and electrical charge, it becomes sticky, and that allows waste material to cling to artery walls. Aging makes this process worse, not because the body is failing, but because years of dietary irritation compound over time. This explains why people over 50 often experience circulation issues even if they eat healthy. The foods may appear healthy on paper, but if they leave acidic residue or mucus behind, the arteries pay the price. Another misunderstood aspect is inflammation. Inflammation is not a disease, it is a response. When arteries are inflamed, it means they are being attacked internally. Constant exposure to irritating foods keeps the immune system in a permanent state of defense, which honestly accelerates wear on blood vessels. Dr. Sebi taught that inflammation subsides naturally when the cause is removed, not when it is suppressed. This is why, many medications reduce symptoms but do not reverse arterial damage. Suppressing inflammation without addressing mucus and acidity allows plaque to continue forming quietly. The good news is that arteries are capable of repair when conditions change. When mucus-forming foods are removed, blood becomes thinner, oxygen delivery improves, and circulation gradually restores itself. This is not an overnight process, but it is a real biological response the body is designed to perform. Minerals play a key role in this healing process. Alkaline minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and iron in their natural plant-based form help restore elasticity to artery walls. Unlike synthetic supplements, minerals from alkaline foods are recognized and utilized efficiently by the body. Another critical element is lymphatic drainage. The lymphatic system is responsible for removing waste from tissues, including the spaces around arteries. When lymph flow is sluggish due to inactivity, dehydration, or poor diet, waste accumulates and adds pressure to blood vessels. Gentle movement, deep breathing, and proper hydration stimulate lymph flow and support arterial cleansing. Circulation is also influenced by oxygen levels. When blood carries sufficient oxygen, it discourages plaque formation because oxygen-rich environments do not favor waste buildup. This is why shallow breathing, poor posture, and sedentary habits indirectly contribute to artery problems. Dr. Sebi emphasized natural living not as a lifestyle trend, but as a biological necessity. Even stress plays a role. Chronic stress tightens blood vessels, raises acidity, and restricts circulation, creating an internal environment where plaque formation accelerates. A lot of people tend to focus only on food, kinda ignoring emotional and mental stress. But the body actually responds to both in the same way, through inflammation and constriction. Understanding this connection really empowers you to see arterial health not as some mystery, but as a result of daily choices repeated over time. When you stop feeding the conditions that damage arteries and start supporting the body's natural systems, circulation improves, pressure eases, and the risk of blockage goes down. This whole perspective, honestly, shifts fear into awareness and replaces confusion with clarity. Arterial health isn't determined by age alone, genetics alone, or cholesterol numbers alone. It's actually determined by the internal environment you create inside your body every single day. Once that environment becomes alkaline hydrated, oxygen rich, and mucus free, the body starts correcting what once seemed irreversible, showing that prevention and repair aren't miracles, but really just natural outcomes of biological alignment. Now that you understand how arterial damage develops and why certain foods quietly create the conditions for blockage, the most important question becomes what to do moving forward, because awareness without action changes nothing. The goal is not fear, restriction, or perfection, but correction and consistency. Removing spinach and similar mucus-forming foods is only the first step. Replacing them with supportive choices is where real change begins. Dr. Sebi consistently emphasized alkaline, living foods that nourish the blood rather than irritate it. And these foods work by restoring balance instead of forcing the body to compensate. Greens such as watercress, dandelion, greens, lamb's lettuce, arugula, and purslane help cleanse the bloodstream and improve circulation because they are mineral-rich and electrically compatible with the human body. These foods do not thicken the blood or leave sticky residue behind, allowing arteries to relax and blood to flow more freely over time. Hydration must also be addressed because thick blood cannot clean itself. Drinking adequate amounts of mineral-rich spring water throughout the day helps thin the blood naturally and supports oxygen delivery. Adding lime, not lemon, to water helps break down mucus and encourages better mineral absorption. Circulation improves further when the body is gently stimulated through daily movement. This does not require intense exercise. Simple walking, stretching, deep breathing, and light leg movements help pump blood and lymph through the body, preventing stagnation that leads to plaque buildup. Dr. Sebi also emphasized the importance of herbs that support internal cleansing. Burdock root and yellow dock assist the liver in filtering waste from the bloodstream, reducing the load placed on arteries. Ginger and cayenne pepper, when used in moderation, help stimulate circulation and prevent blood from becoming sluggish. These are not quick fixes, but supportive tools that work when used consistently. Another overlooked factor is meal timing and food combinations. Overeating, late-night meals, and heavy-cooked foods force the body to divert energy away from repair and toward digestion, increasing acidity during sleep when the body should be healing. Allowing sufficient time between meals and favoring lighter evening foods reduces this burden and supports overnight circulation repair. Stress management also plays a critical role in arterial health. Chronic stress tightens blood vessels and raises internal acidity, counteracting even the best diet. Practices such as deep breathing, prayer meditation, or quiet reflection help relax the nervous system and improve blood flow naturally. Dr. Sebi taught that the body heals best in a calm state, not under constant pressure. It is also important to understand that improvement does not happen overnight, and that does not mean it is not happening. Arteries respond slowly but steadily when irritation is removed and nourishment is restored. Many people notice warmer hands and feet, improved energy, better endurance, and clearer thinking as circulation improves. These are signs that blood is moving more freely and oxygen delivery is increasing. The greatest mistake people make is returning to old habits too quickly because results are not immediate. Healing is a process, not an event. The message here is not that vegetables are bad, but that not all vegetables serve the body equally. Labels, trends, and marketing do not determine health. Biological response does. When you choose foods that align with your body's natural design, you stop fighting symptoms and start supporting function. Dr. Sebi's teachings remind us that the body is not fragile, broken, or doomed by age. It is responsive, intelligent, and capable of repair when given the right conditions. By making informed choices, staying consistent, and respecting your body's signals, you shift from fear of disease to confidence in prevention. This knowledge is not meant to scare you away from food, but to guide you toward foods that protect your arteries, support your heart, and allow you to age with strength rather than limitation.